How do you get the most out of your teams? How do you motivate them to perform and to sustain that performance over a period of time? Rise and shine, leaders. This is Glenn Guyton, keynote speaker and workplace trainer. It is time for our executive coffee break. I've got my beverage in hand. I hope you have yours too. They say you can't choose your family, but you can choose your workplace culture and your beverage. Leadership matters, so you might as well get good at it. This week, we've been talking about motivation in the workplace and various theories about motivation. Today, I'm going to talk about Herzberg's two-factor theory, which was published in 1959. And just to be clear, I'm not a psychologist or a sociologist, but I do study human behavior as it relates to culture. And so that's why I'm sharing these theories with you. But Herzberg's two-factor theory, also known as motivation hygiene theory, distinguishes between two characteristics of workplace factors that possibly influence employee motivation and satisfaction. That's hygiene factors and motivators. So what's the difference? Hygiene factors is not about soap and water and deodorant. No. Hygiene factors are elements of the work environment that do not lead to long-term satisfaction or increased motivation, but we need them. If we don't have these hygiene factors, so regular maintenance like hygiene in regards to medical hygiene, physical hygiene, if we don't do these routines, they can actually cause dissatisfaction. So you have to have the hygiene factors. These factors are related to the job environment and are considered maintenance factors that are necessary to avoid dissatisfaction. And so some examples of these are salary and benefits. Kind of surprising, huh? Company policies, administrative policies, the working conditions, job security, quality of supervision, relationships with peers, subordinates, and supervisors. So these things don't necessarily lead to long-term motivation for people, but you have to have these things in place, and you have to do a good job at these things in order for dissatisfaction not to happen. So the hygiene factors only help you avoid the negative. It doesn't increase the positive. Pretty simple. Motivators, on the other hand, are factors that can lead to higher job satisfaction and motivate employees when they are present. So these factors are related to the job content and the work itself. Motivators are intrinsic to the work and also include aspects that enrich an individual's job and lead to higher performance and efforts. And that's what we want, right? That's why we're talking about these things. We want greater job satisfaction, and we want higher performance, higher effort from our teams. We want to get the most out of our teams, just like this picture here, people working out. We want to get that. We want to feel that burn. We want to get pumped up in the workplace, right? And so what pumps up people in the workplace? Recognition, opportunities for personal growth and advancement. The work itself. People want to do meaningful work and have some level of responsibility. Achievement, so obtaining those higher goals. Responsibility, right? Yeah, the work itself, but the responsibility. So again, being able to know that their work is meaningful and the possibility of personal growth. These are essential factors. So again, hygiene factors just keep people from being upset, angry, and dissatisfied, but they don't serve as motivation. Good hygiene is the baseline. Motivators get people pumped up. So how do we apply this to the workplace now that you know this theory? Number one, differentiate between hygiene and motivators. Know the difference. Recognize that salary, work, and job security are hygiene factors, but they don't motivate. There's only so much money you can throw at a person to motivate them. Now, again, if you don't pay people an appropriate wage, they're going to get dissatisfied. But throwing more money at someone is not going to make them work harder or work more. It really isn't. There's a cap, there's a limit to that. So you have to pay people, compensate people in a way that's appropriate. That doesn't mean they're going to be more productive. So know the difference between hygiene and motivators. Number 2, enhance job satisfaction. Focus your efforts on motivational factors such as recognition, responsibility, and opportunities for growth to improve job satisfaction and motivation. That's really the key. Number 3, personalize recognition. Tailor recognition and rewards to the individual, their preferences, and the needs of employees to make them more impactful. So don't recognize people in a way that you want to be recognized. Recognize people in the way that they need to be recognized. That's how we motivate people. Number 4, promote employee autonomy. Provide employees with more control over their work and work decision making to enhance their motivation. Good advice there. Good advice. Number 5, continuous improvement. Regularly assess and improve the work environment and the job roles to ensure both hygiene and motivation factors are addressed. So we have to look at both of these when we're seeking to improve job performance. When we think about retention, recruiting, we need to think about both hygiene factors and the motivational factors. So just really, really, really basic. There are some limitations to this theory. Again, I want to just give you the limitations. These are theories and different studies. You have to kind of utilize them in your context in the right way. So just a couple of things that maybe limit the Herzberg 2-factor theory, or things that are criticisms of it. Well, Herzberg's methodology, particularly the use of critical incident technique, has been criticized by some for its potential bias in identifying factors leading to satisfaction and dissatisfaction. So there's some criticism of his methodology in coming up with this study. Okay, another criticism of Herzberg's 2-factor theory is the universality and reliability of his information. Critics have questioned the 2-factor model, noting that factors contributing to job satisfaction and dissatisfaction may vary slightly across different cultures, industries, and job roles. Okay, so you have to know your context. Contextualization is very important when you're applying any theory. And that's why we need some sense of cultural competency, cultural understanding in the workplace. I'll talk about that a little bit later. The last criticism that I share with you is overemphasis on intrinsic factors, so that internal motivation. While Herzberg highlights the importance of intrinsic factors in motivating employees, critics argue that extrinsic factors, such as pay and job security, can significantly motivate individuals, especially in varying economic conditions. So does a raise in wage equate to more job satisfaction, more job performance? I would say maybe yes, but there's a limit to that. And it doesn't last. It's not a lasting motivation. When you get a raise, you think about it, hey, I got a raise, they appreciate me. But then in the next year, you're like, hey, I need another raise, right? This money is good, but I'm used to it. You get used to it. Some of that is, we would think about the hedonic treadmill. We are always looking for the next thing. So we kind of forget stuff. You buy a new car, like, this car is really great. I really love it. And then, 3 or 4 months after you have the car, you're like, it's just a car, right? So understand that. I like the theory in the fact that we need these hygiene factors. And I think Herzberg says that you need these hygiene factors. You need to have good pay, good benefits, but those things aren't motivators. They don't keep that energy going. They don't keep that pump going. Yes, they are basic needs that people have to meet. So now go back to when I talked about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You can start combining some of these theories and how you apply them in the workplace. So now, looking through a culturally competent lens, just understand that factors contributing to job satisfaction, motivators, and dissatisfaction, hygiene factors can be perceived differently across different cultures. For instance, in some cultures, social harmony and group cohesion may be a significant motivator. So leaders should seek to understand these cultural differences and tailor motivational strategies accordingly. Again, you have to think about your industry, you have to think about your people, you have to think about, where your employees are from, what's their cultural background, what value do they place on these different motivating things. So for some, money may really motivate them to a certain extent. For other people, recognition is it. Like when the boss recognizes you, that's a great thing. And that's going to motivate them to give their all for the organization. Some cultures, we don't care about leadership. We're not as hierarchical. So just think about that. What motivates people? For other people, spending time with family, time off, be a really good motivator, knowing that they have a flexible work schedule. You have to figure out these things if you're going to apply something like Herzberg's two-factor theory. And it's really simple, right? 2 factors that you have to worry about. Is this going to help pump my employees up and give them, that lasting pump, or is it just maintenance hygiene? If I don't do it, it's going to be a dip. They're going to be dissatisfied. All right. Hopefully that has helped you all. I want you to think about that this week. That's your challenge. Think about the various factors. Go back maybe and look at some of the other videos that I've recorded on this about how to motivate your team. Again, I'm going to give you 5 different theories about workplace behavior that I hope will help you in your leadership journey, that will help you find the right way to get the most out of your team. So as we close, let's not forget the strength and perseverance that it takes to lead with empathy and inclusivity. Better leaders get better results. So to every one of you leading the charge for a more supportive and engaging workplace, I leave you with this. Stay bold, stay inspired, and remember that your actions today shape the culture of tomorrow. My name is Glenn Guyton. You all have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. Hey, incredible viewers, are you ready to transform your workplace into a haven of respect and productivity? Well, I would encourage you to check out my book, Navigating Microaggressions at Work. This is an essential read for your employee resource groups to help you identify, address, and prevent microaggressions in the workplace, because I want you to foster an environment of inclusion and respect where everyone thrives. Make a choice that leads to a less stressed, high-performing team. The book is available on Amazon.